Welcome back to Marvel Maniac and MCU After Show. This is your host, Eric Cicada, aka Mr. Honest. I just got back from the theater where I saw Marvel's Eternals. Now, I don't really have to say Marvel's anything on this show because everything I've seen basically is a Marvel show on this show. Coming to realize that, but it's kind of cool to say Marvel's anything in front of what we're seeing because it is a Marvel property, and this is a Marvel MCU After Show, and I'm going to repeat everything I just said again, just to add more emphasis. And I am Eric Cicada, aka Mr. Honest. And we just got ourselves a huge installment into the next chapter of I'm going to call it the Multiverse Chronicle. The Multiverse Chronicle. It's probably going to call it Saga, but I said Chronicle this time because why not? In the multiverse, in this variant universe, we have different timelines, and in this timeline, we got a good movie called Eternals. I wanted to go into this movie open-minded and not with too high of expectations. It's not that I didn't expect it to be great or amazing. It's just I never want to set the expectations too high because I want to enjoy the experience as much as possible in case it is an amazing movie. And when it does turn out to be something just as awesome as this was, it turns out to be just quite a ride. It's the actors, it's the casting, it's the passion for what's happening on screen. It's all of it happening together at once, and you could just tell there's something right happening behind the screen as well. Why? Because there's too much going right for it to not be going wrong. In this movie, there's so much happening in this movie, right? Like, can't you imagine this movie sucking? And jumping back and forth. BC, present day, BC, present day, 2,000 years ago, 1,000 years ago. The timeline is crazy. They're filling in all sorts of timelines on this. Going to, right after the nuclear bombs dropped at one point. And this is actually cognitively filling in the story of the Eternals throughout history, the whole movie. And it makes sense. And for the story that they told, it's fantastic, and I love the movie. I was along for every beat, and I love the new characters they introduced. And dang, what did you guys think? I love your input. MarvelManiacPod@gmail.com. You can reach out to us there. You can also reach out on Twitter at MarvelManiacPod. Shout us out. Let us know, what are you thinking of this movie, Eternals, #Eternals. Did it meet your expectations for a Phase 4 Marvel film, or did it fail to meet your expectations? For me, it exceeded mine. And I'm trying to keep my composure here because I'm very excited about the movie, but I want to maintain my thoughts. As I've said before on the show plenty of times, I'm used to being able to have a good chunk of TV in front of me to review or movie, and I'm able to reverse rewind, talk about it, reverse rewind, talk, rewind, do a lot of rewinding. This is just my working process. Now I'm going to watch a movie in the theater today, and coming home and I'm talking about it. It's like any other movie you'd go see, any other human being who's going to see it and talking about it with their friends afterwards. It's just not the amount of depth I'd go into on any other episode. I'm not like going beat by beat, giving you an action frame for frame breakdown, but I mean, we can remember the key moments here, and we can there were the takeaways. There were the takeaways. The big moments, the big reveals of information we can gather from this movie, and where it's going to be maybe taking us going forward. I could already kind of see the next team up movie, at least like where we're standing with some of the heroes now. Like, can you kind of imagine already? Like, we have the Eternals, we have Shang-Chi, we have Spider-Man, we have Captain America and the Winter Soldier, we have Wanda and Vision, and then we also have the Guardians of the Galaxy. Did I say them? I don't think I did. And then we have Thor. There we go. That's like everybody, dude. I mean, that's a lot of people. That's a huge and Ant-Man. Did I say everyone? Did I say people twice? I think I had to have said people twice. Confirmation. No, I did not say anyone twice. This was hero check, hero roster check right now, and that's not including Hulk. And there's some heroes I'm still not including there. We have hero rosters up to date, and yet Hawkeye is still yet to happen. Something tells me in my gut that he's not going to make it through his own show. I think he's going to teach the young Hawkeye his way. I think he's not going to make it, but I don't know. That would make Nat's sacrifice not worth it. Yeah, I don't know. Actually, I'm going to take that back. Hawkeye won't die in his own show. That would be silly. Not if he leaves it off with another Hawkeye. See, that's where it's getting me. That's my Hawkeye prediction. I have no idea where we're going with this. Basically, so Eternals is so epic, and we're going to get started with talking about it right now. It covers the most broad scope of any MCU movie possible. These characters are old, and Kumail Nanjiani's character has one line in the movie, where he says, Kingo, really funny character. Kumail gets to kind of be himself through that character a lot, and I think most of the actors, they give a lot of their own personalities, but they do give a bit of personality to the characters as well, which I really do like. Like, I think Angelina Jolie, I think she did a great job. Bringing her own thunder to the role of Thena. And I think Thena was a fun character, and I actually really enjoyed watching her and battle through her overclocking memory CPU brain. She has too much rendering going on, so she had to do a memory upgrade or delete some stuff, delete some overload. And oh man, there's a lot of lore here. It's like these beings outlive and outlast every single being we know in the universe, and they have been there the whole time watching. It's crazy. It's just kind of like they introduce characters that have outlived the events of the entire series of of everything we've come to know and love, and they're just like, all right, well, now that everything else is done, like they've done their thing. Let's launch Earth, and then, by the way, let's let them get to the point where Thanos is destroyed and Avengers Endgame ends, and then this is when we're going to come back and finish our story. The Eternals, that's what they're eternal. It's in the name. It's in the name. And a movie lives up to its name in many ways, and that's what makes a movie brilliant. And this movie can be watched many times from many perspectives and enjoyed in many lights and reflected on, I think. I mean, I'm reflecting on it as we speak. I'm revelating on it. And I really, 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 really can appreciate this movie. I'm kind of in awe. I'm in awe. There's one visual that keeps grabbing me, and it's at the end of the movie. It's an end of the movie visual. And I'm going to jump right to it in my mind because we've all seen the movie, and we're here. Spoiler alert now, if you for some reason jumped in here to want to talk about Eternals, but you haven't guessed by now, this is an Eternals after show. Welcome to the Eternals after show. 8:30 or 9 minutes in. Welcome. We are just saying how I'm going to talk about the end part real fast, where we get Athena with talking in the park with Kit Harington's character Dane Whitman. I want to call him Dwayne so bad. It was Dwayne The Rock Johnson. His challenge going around TikTok is just it's maybe he's just locked in my mind lately or something. Anyway, Dane Whitman. By the way, did I ever say out loud my prediction on maybe a cutscene? Can I maybe go back and I'm gonna have to go back and see if I maybe predicted what would happen here. I think we got an amazing post-credit scene. A couple post-credit scenes here in this movie. We hinting to a new Marvel show with said character, Dane Whitman, a.k.a. Black Knight, I believe the show is called. And yeah, we also get, for those Game of Thrones fans out there, and I can imagine a few of those crossovers. And I loved Game of Thrones. And I'll say this, it was great to see Robb Stark and Jon Snow together on screen as different characters, but I mean they knew what they were doing, and you know they had to meet each other face to face because it may be that those characters never actually meet each other ever again. It had to have been some sort of homage. I don't think personally. I don't really think. I don't know how, or I don't think in any way that Icarus will be making a return. I don't think that he'll be coming back. So it's good that they got a face to face. So the movie starts with the Eternals being sent to Earth, and they're being sent to Earth by Urashim. If I'm getting the name wrong, I'm sure I'll get it right in the future because this seems like a pretty big bad we're going to be dealing with for some time. Pretty devastating foe here. It makes the whole Infinity Saga. He makes the whole Infinity Saga look like dust, and literally this whole movie almost does. It does. Cersei, one of the main characters, if not the center point character of this movie, the heart of this movie, Cersei. Gemma Chan, lead actress, and Shining Star. I loved her. She was great. I love Cersei as a character. I thought she was fantastic. I love the honing in on that ability of turning really heavy things into really amazing, beautiful, pretty things. I love that. The flowers and all that. I really like the visuals in this movie. They didn't waste any screen time. We learned that Salma Hayek's character, Ajak, is the basic leader of this group, and Olympia is their home. And yes, I can't get this guy's name. I'm never going to get this guy's name right because it's got a couple of extra syllables when reading it. Arashim, the giant thing from that I'm pretty sure holds the Power Stone in that quick glimpse in Guardians of the Galaxy when the Collector is showing them a montage of the Infinity Stones. I might be wrong though. It's just a Celestial. He's a giant Celestial, and the Celestials are who the Eternals answer to. The Celestials are the gods, pretty much the big number one uno mighty almighties. Now, I am not positive in terms of Celestials and the Watcher where the power levels lie, like where one meets the other. And that's where things start to get interesting in this phase 4 of Marvel, where we're testing new power levels. We're going up to a new level of power. Couldn't put any more emphasis on the word power there, but I mean, can it be any more powerful than what it is right now? I mean, this guy's, the guy's name, Mithrim. I can't get the guy's name down. And I think I'm gonna genuinely keep these moments in here because at one point it's kind of hilarious, but I should get it down. There's a lot of names in this movie. I'll say Erisham, the giant, not eternal. He's a celestial which sent Icarus, Ajak, and the Eternals we know to defeat the Deviants. So the Deviants are what rule kind of the Earth against the humans in that time of 5000 BC. They kind of are the evil of the Earth at 5000 BC at this time. And this is what the Celestials say are the Eternals' mission from Olympia is to go and clear the Earth of all of the deviants. And okay, so it's a pretty simple, straightforward mission, and they are basically a galactic superhero team that can live forever. From the beginning of the movie, that's what we're like led to believe, and it's a pretty straightforward thing. But we're getting this tale told to us from two ends, and I'm as I'm watching, and I'm sure some of you are filling in the dots too. That there's stuff we're not being told. I'm like, I'm just gonna strap in and just see what it is. I'm wondering how many of you like had figured some of this out as you'd went, as you'd been going, But I was just kind of strapped in, ready for the ride at this point. Anyway, this was interesting to me because I really had wondered when I found out that the Eternals was going to take place across history, how it was going to actually affect history and how much history it was going to cover. And are we going to have how much homage to the MCU? Are we going to go into them watching battles, like on the sides of battles? How much homage to other like MCU movies? I'm not a fanboy amount, like an insane, but there's homage to other MCU movies, but there's way more way forward. Just like any really good Marvel film should have, like landmarks on the map. we should have a couple landmarks on the map for a couple years from a good Marvel movie. Like the end of this movie, put a landmark on the map. This giant celestial head pulling out of the ground. That's basically, from whatever every single other person, comic book reader knows, if you throw that picture down to a 2012 to 2016 Marvel fan, and you're like, leaked future Marvel movie, guess what it is? And they'd be like, dude, it's Galactus. Galactus confirmed. It just... It's just so interesting. The fact is, like, that, how is that not going to come into play with the other Avengers? Any of the like Hulk or the scientists? There's so much at play here, and the Eternals are just here for it all. They've been here for every single bit of it, and you get to understand why, and they have to convince you why. As a fan on the outskirts of the actual story, you as a Marvel fan, yes, you're in on this. Like you're gonna go along for the ride, most likely. You're down for Phase 4. You're down for the ride, but like as someone on the outskirts, maybe you're not. Maybe you're like, okay, Phase 4, really? Are you going to try and sell me on another Avengers right now, mister? I'm walking into this and Angelina Jolie's doing a backflip and spearing a rhino, It's basically another type of bad guy thing, I got to be sold that this is like a special kind of enemy. And this is, you're a special kind of hero. It's got to be different. It's got to be different. What's different about this? What's different about this? What's different about this one? Gotta be different, Marvel. Don't be generic, In the beginning, I'm not. It wasn't that the fighting was bad at all. The story, it took 1 second, 2 second, 3 second, 4, up until the part where they start shaking hands. And I'll say it, that scene when they got to Earth was powerful. And in light of everything else that happened in the movie, it's probably going to be 10 times better to go back and watch. The cinematics in this movie, I don't know if I've said it, I probably will say it 10 times more. They were fantastic, and Marvel just provides. Marvel provides, man. Marvel provides. The cliffhangers they leave us on are nauseating, and they're isolating, the cliffhangers, because of the scope of this movie and how far away everything feels, how big they make the universe, and how the scope of how far everything is in the MCU. And if you watch What If, and the more you watch, it all just kind of fills into one giant picture. And when you go to see a movie like this movie it's honestly just giant pieces to that bigger picture. And it's putting in like those final it's like putting in bigger corner pieces to that puzzle. When you're putting in, there's a big puzzle, and like these are corners, and you're like, oh, I could see the picture a little bit better now. Ooh, that's a nice mountain I'm seeing now. That's cool. Oh my goodness. This is amazing because this whole MCU thing started with the Eternals. This is how they're going to sell me on this thing, and dang, wow, they did it. They're not completely normal after all. Oh wait, what's the twist in the movie? Let's just get right to it. It's really good. It's really good. It's freaking unnatural, and dang, I'm sold. I'm sold. The powers of Shang-Chi and the Eternals already separately amazing, fun, unique, brilliant, brilliant, bum bum, brilliant, brilliant, boom, brilliant, boom. I'm doing a James Bond thing. This is Marvel. What am I doing? And the way I'm going over this is just the way I'm remembering it. And like I said, I'm freaking like the movie was kind of split up. The story, the way the information was revealed to us, and I really liked that. I thought that was really fun, really engaging. I sometimes though that can be kind of jarring if it is done wrong, and it's so touchy. It's such a touchy way to tell a movie or a story, right? Back and forth and back and forth. How do you do that? And yet, this story does a great job of it. I think maybe one thing is because the extreme lengths of time they're going between, like thousands BC to current day, 500 BC to current day, and it's like a post-snap world to a pre-Egyptian world, post-Egyptian world, So like the aesthetics and the atmosphere, and yet they are also static. It's interesting as people and characters, and the little tiny changes they go through, and the arcs, their character arcs, all as characters, they follow one arc through the entire movie. So out through these entire 8,000 years as beings, they pretty much all follow one giant character arc. This is the longest character arc ever told in one movie. This is the longest story ever told in cinema. I'm not even kidding, though. This is the longest story ever told on cinema. It probably is. You can't even argue it. So they clear all the planets of every single deviant. The Eternals knock it out of the park, and it takes 4,500 years. It takes them 4,500 years of clearing the planet of deviants. That's how riddled the planet was of these wretched beasts that conquer the world for years. And this is what the Eternals see, basically, as they're about to kind of split up and part, and or go back to their world whenever, like whatever the next step would be, as they're finding their next fight, finding the next deviants to kill. These are going to be the final deviants. They're just having all out war. And we have a character in this movie, and his ability, it's a very unique ability, one of a kind, because it's not like super strength or anything. It's just he can take control of people. He can take control of people. This is understated in this movie. Like, he can make people hug each other is like what it kind of is played off like. Druid. Yeah, he can make people hug each other, but like, he's mind control. There's mind control. There's a lot of twists with mind control. So we have a mind control hero in the universe now. Lauren Ridolph plays Makari, the first deaf superhero in the Marvel Universe, and she insanely knocks it out of the park. There's some fight scenes in the end between her and Icarus that are some of the probably best film fight scenes that I've ever seen on screen. I mean, they are super fast. She's got super speed, and if they had applied that to Quicksilver, any Quicksilver, I mean, it's a super fast, super quick animation, and she goes in and out. And man, I just need to see this movie again. It's one of those movies you want to see again because of the visuals. They do so good on the visuals and the special effects. It's really important to watch every second when you're going to a Marvel movie. From the second this one started, it had a opening scroll like a Star Wars movie, a scroll like to read with a lot of info, and I leaned in. I knew there was going to be a lot of info in this one, and this was a little bit of a lore heavy movie, and I do wonder if it was a bit much for anyone. But I don't like to assume anyone like it. Come on. I mean, at the same time, I don't want to assume anyone dumb, but I also don't want to assume anyone is just like, all right, Marvel, like at all times. I don't know how intertwined this really is. If it is so intertwined with the greater story, how would this play on its own? And I think it still has to. It plays pretty good because it's a pretty singular story about the story of the planet on its own. You could watch this, then go watch all of the MCU, and then become a fan. If you become a fan of this, then become a fan of the MCU. This can bring in a new person, then the MCU. It's interesting. But most of the movie, we are pretty much led to believe that the Eternals are just there to protect the Earth from the deviants, and that's what we're led to believe, and that's what the Eternals are led to believe, at least for most of the Eternals. So the big twist of the movie, let's just get to it. The big twist of the movie. We learn. Well, the first twist, let's just say, okay, there's a couple twists. The first big twist is that we lose Ajak, and she's killed by a deviant, and so it seems. But the bigger twist is later when we find out that, we have a plan to stop the big bad. The second twist is the big bad in general. I keep forgetting there's more twists because the way the movie's laid out, and the big twist at the end is the best. It's always the best. Let's talk about the fact that the Eternals are not sent to Earth to just destroy the deviants. They are. Just there, but they're not there to destroy the deviants, to protect the humans, and embrace a culture and grow a culture. They are there to do all that. They're just there to grow humans, to feed a big old celestial that's been growing in the earth the whole time. I mean, I'm just laughing because it's just unbelievable. Like, all the way down there in the core of the earth, there's a celestial, a giant beast. That thing that was popping out of the earth, that's been in the earth. That's been the earth. That's earthquakes. In this canon, you feel an earthquake? That's the celestial just moving around. Stuff's getting weird. Where's Falcon America? In this, the way they are giving us so much crazy intergalactic insanity, it just makes me want to believe we will get a movie about Captain America traveling through space and time with the Infinity Stones and facing off with the Red Skull at the peak of a crazy fight, and then maybe reaching the TVA and then grouping up with Loki, and then going back to the main timeline and realizing that they need him for the fight as well, and there can be two Captain Americas. I love Anthony Mackie, but we need Steve Rogers back, guys. This is too big. This is too big of a problem for just one Captain America. Am I wrong? One person can dream. Variants. Why would they just introduce variants for no reason? And why would they take away so many Tony Starks only to just never bring him back again? Yeah, right. We're going to see Tony Stark again, too. These are all my wild, crazy predictions. If this is your first time here and you think I'm insane, why don't you just raise me and subscribe and give me a follow, and I'll I'll keep making you a little bit crazier. And you can email me, marvelmaniacpod@gmail.com. You might get on the show. We can bicker about it a little bit, as long as it's in good heart and it's respectful, because we're all Marvel maniacs and we're all just trying to assemble and talk about what we love, and that's the MCU. That's what we're here to do. We do have a Patreon right now, and I've been haven't been up to date with my posts on it, and I'm going to be posting this week. I did say I'd be posting last week, and I haven't. So we post occasionally on the Patreon. Special posts. We have 3 posts, at least 3 more to come this month. I'm going to try for 4, and I'm really happy about it. And it's just a great way to support the show. So if you can, stop by. It's patreon.com/MarvelManiac. Yeah, so basically it turns out that it really is the actual clearing of the deviants so that the Earth can populate with humans, so that the emergence can happen, and this sentient giant galactic being can rise out of the Earth and take over and destroy everything. So this is the plan the whole time. Not everyone knows in the whole group, except their leader, Ajax, and not one other, but who do you think? Well, we all know it. It's Icarus. And I may have been scrolling up to IMDb to remind myself of his name, because there's a lot of characters' names. But I mean, the performance from Richard Madden in this was fantastic as Icarus, and what a fun movie. He was a showstopper, though, because I really bought his character, and that was a good twist, that he knew for that whole time. He knew why they were there, and that kind of that really sinks. It makes him a very complicated, in quote, villain of this movie, because it makes him an antagonist. It makes him it makes him an emotional, complicated human being, and he's not a human being. He's an Eternal, which turns out to be metal, forged by a Celestial. With a lot of extra perks and little magic and power that we don't even know about. This is just extra stuff, beyond Infinity Stone level stuff we're getting into now. Like, this is like what we were seeing in the post-credit scene of Shang-Chi with the rings. Like, this is the special power the rings have. Like, this is deeper power that they're introducing now. Like, more ancient power. Further ancient power. And I have a feeling the 10 rings are connected to the same power. We're going to find out. The 10 rings are connected to the same power. Black Knight's power, probably a little bit different, but the fact that happened with Kit Harington's character, I like this character, man. Dane Whitman, ladies and gentlemen. Black Knight show is going to be pretty solid, if you ask me. I think Black Knight, if I'm wrong, and if it's not called Black Knight, whatever night he's gonna be my night. I'm gonna watch it, and I'm probably gonna love it. Something told me he was gonna suit up in that show and go on into battle. In this movie, you know. I mean, I was gonna say in this show, but in this movie this movie was a hell of a ride. That visual of that Ethereum character arriving to Earth at the end and picking up Cersei and the other Eternals, you know, like straight up off of Earth, and it's just the way he's approaching Earth, like it's so scary. It looks like it's just doomsday. I'm like, can everyone else see this? No. She's just having a vision, and then it shows Dane Whitman reacting. He's like, Cersei, she just gets grabbed out of Earth. Straight up. And he's just like crouched over Earth like it's a little bubble. And he's like, I'll spare this planet today, but you spare an Eternal for Earth. For that, you will see the rest of your memories. We will see what the rest of your memories have to say. So it's like we know all of their memories, so many memories from so many more years. They are so old. That thing that was happening to Thena with her brain and her mind, going crazy, that probably happened to all of them at one point. They just all been erased and restarted. All of them. Yeah, so the trouble with Icarus knowing the whole time and the conflict with him, I thought that was really great, really well executed. A lot of really fun moments between the characters. There was a lot of stuff cut from the trailers, like a lot of the Avengers moments that was kind of used to probably bring the people into the movie, which I'm not surprised. Marvel does advertise with a lot of things that aren't in the movie sometimes to kind of throw people off and give a good story, give a really positive, awesome story that isn't in the movie. Usually, a better story than's advertised. They'll get people in with a trailer and then tell an altered story to give a better experience. And I'm all for it. I am all for that. 100%. 100%. I want to read some top comments on Reddit. And this is really good because this is Marvel Studios, our Marvel Studios. And they are fantastic Marvel maniacs themselves. And I want to hear what they have to say. Hirachi88 says, hearing Kit Harington's character say, "I love you, Cersei." Cersei was a little uncanny and made me laugh. Yeah. If you watch Game of Thrones, you know what he means. Ryan said, was half expecting him to call Icarus Rob when their characters met each other. I know, right? Rest in peace to the Gilgamesh pie, gone but not forgotten, Wookie Snooky. That's so funny. I feel like Druig and Makari had more chemistry than Cersei and Icarus. I Crazy Diamond Eye says, yeah, they had great chemistry, Makari and Druig, because silent moments, if they're executed right, they're just beautiful. And the acting, like I said, all the acting in this movie was fantastic. Lauren Ridolph. I'm name dropping in this one because this movie was all about the team effort, in that it was a group cast, and you didn't know who there was going to be kind of a main standout character. There was one, and it was Cersei. However, everyone was a bit of a main character too at the same time. A bunch of numbers. 002 83 466 said, "The Eternals stop a Celestial from emerging from Earth, which was the purpose of their creation. And instead of killing them and resuming the main Celestial destroying Earth, the head Celestial, Ereshkigal, is like, that's a bold strat. Let's see if it pays off." CSX316 replies, "Let's hope they don't read Fasto's memories first. Well, let's see. We have two really good humans. 7,000 years of absolute shitfuckery and genocide. Oh, not a great start." Oh, no. All of them coming together to fight and take down the Celestial was fantastic. And I'm not going to overextend my stay on this. I've talked about it quite enough for tonight. I'm going to wind down, and I may do an after show for it once I've thought about it a little bit more. I thought the post-credit scene for Black Knight was amazing. I want to see that movie or show. I think I'm almost positive it's a show. I'm almost guaranteed it's a TV show. But if it were a movie, I'd watch it too. Kit Harington, I'm down, dude. I'm in. Along with the first post-credit scene, which is the only thing I really haven't discussed. Well, I guess the troll at the end was voiced by Patton Oswalt. And the other guy was Harry Styles of One Direction. Didn't realize, playing Eros, a.k.a. Star Fox, a.k.a. Thanos' brother. Fellow Eternal, or so he claims, stopping by Earth to help his fellow Eternals. Help him out. Apparently. I don't know how you could trust somebody after all this. But we'll see. And apparently a sequel. It seems like the Eternals will return at the end. We already have confirmation. It's kind of hard to believe. Yeah, it's kind of hard to believe that we can trust this guy, though. I don't trust him. But I don't know. What do you think? This movie, for me, was phenomenal. And it made my night. And it pretty much, I'm going to need to reflect on it, but I'm pretty sure it might be the best one since Endgame over Shang-Chi and Black Widow for me. I think this one takes the cake. But I'm going to have to see Shang-Chi again. And I'm going to maybe have to see Black Widow again. And I think the best part about that is both of them come out on Disney Plus this month. So I have a lot of talking about movies to do over the next few months. I'm very ambitious. I'm going to say clear schedule. That episode I posted a few weeks ago with What's to Come. Maybe I'll take it down, but at the same time, I'd like to just... I had some good predictions in there. I'm just going to update this one and say we're going to try and keep some of those goals for that episode. But I'm just going to keep you up to date right now and say... let's just try and make a lot of I'm going to make a lot of reactions to a lot of relevant things, and that's the best way I'm going to be able to work for you, Maniacs, until I get some really strong feedback, a lot of feedback, and I want to hear it from you, and I love it. I love the feedback. MarvelManiacPod@gmail.com, Twitter MarvelManiacPod, Patreon.com/MarvelManiac. Your support is loved, appreciated, never expected, but always appreciated, and I really do appreciate you for being here today. You are all amazing, and I can't wait to be here next week with you. If not sooner, I'm going to be trying to do another review of another movie you love very soon, and it's going to be very relevant to what's coming up in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Until next time, Avengers, disassemble.